Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Open Mic Podcast. The Open Mic Podcast is unofficially brought to you by Candy. Liquid Deaths, Murder and Thirst. Rest in peace. Liquid Death. Don't just quench your thirst, murder your thirst. Liquid Death. Rest in peach, peach flavored iced tea, 19 milligrams of caffeine, sweetened with stevia extract and agave. Nothing quenches your thirst. Nothing murders brutally, beats down your thirst like liquid death. The unofficial sponsor of the Open Mic Podcast. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody is having a wonderful week, wonderful weekend. Been busy. Work has. This has been a. Uh, it's been a long week for me work wise. I've probably worked harder this week than I have in probably a while. Um, from a physical standpoint. So, but other than that, it's been a good week. It's October and fall is in the air. 70-degree evenings and 40-degree nights, which everybody loves, and I love because I love to wear hoodies, and it's almost hoodie season. So yeah, fall is here, and all the fall festivals, and the pumpkin picking, and the carving, and my favorite holiday, probably besides Christmas, is Halloween, and I love to decorate for Halloween. And I changed it up a little bit this year. Last couple of years, I've had these like 8 foot kind of like scary clowns, and I had fog machine and strobe lights and the whole nine, right? And but now some of that stuff is like my family didn't really care, and now it's like starting to scare the kids a little bit. So I said, okay, it's time to maybe change it up. So I do still have like a scarecrow that holds like this candy dish, and it's got a sensor on it. So when they reach their hand in there to get the candy, it like comes to life, and it's got red eyes, and it kind of like screams. And I got one of those like motorized like giant spiders that like jumps when you walk by, and the fake spider web and all that. And then I got a bunch of inflatables that are more like kid friendly. I do have like a 9 foot tall inflatable like alien, and I got like a giant spider on the roof that's also inflatable. And so yeah, just a little bit more kid friendly. I'll probably dress up the night of Halloween, hand out candy. Um May scare kids at night a little bit. I don't know. I feel like that's part of it, right? Like, some kids are okay with it, some kids don't like it. Um, it just all depends, really. So I'll probably dress up and do some scary stuff. So, but I love Halloween, man. I love decorating for Halloween. It's just I feel like now, like it's October 4th, and the stuff in the stores is already discounted. Like I was in the store the other day and I saw Halloween stuff like 35, 40, 50% off. And I'm like, it's October 4th. Like how, like I feel like, and some of the stores had Christmas stuff out already. So I'm like, man, we're just rushing on through the holidays. It's just crazy, man. Now they did have the Reese cup. Man, I love Reese cups. So they did have the little pumpkin Reese cup pumpkins on sale. Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one half off. It's like the candy, the Halloween candy's on sale, all the costumes on sale, like all the stuff, like decorations being blown out. And I'm like, it's October 4th. Like I could understand putting that stuff on sale like a day or two before and then after, but on October 4th, I don't know, man. It's like all the holidays are getting rushed, and it sucks. Life life is short as it is. Life is not long enough, so why would we want to rush? just rush it on through. I keep looking down because I got and I adopted. I have one cat and I have one dog who's a boxer, but I adopted another kitten, and I'm trying to get her to come over and shoot a bone hand. But it's a tabby, but it's not like the striped tabby cat you usually see. She's more like a marble, kind of has a Bengal cat look to her, which is why I liked her. But she was in a foster home with a 2-year-old child and a dog and other cats, and she's very chill, but she won't come over here. I was gonna show her like, yeah, she won't come. She's just kind of chilling right now. But yeah, so got a new pet. And I urge everybody, please, like if you're looking for a cat, you're looking for a dog, please try to adopt first. Like my first two boxers, because I wanted something specific, I bought from the first boxer I had did not come from a breeder. It came from a puppy mill, and they were basically about to abandon this because this was the last puppy they had. Can't get rid of it. I took her, had her for 12 years. The second boxer, I wanted a white boxer, and those are hard to find. Most time they're born deaf and or blind. So a lot of breeders that have white boxers, usually when they have white boxers, and this is sounds really messed up, but they basically euthanize them. They don't even get a chance. So this breeder in Tennessee, Blazing Boxers that I used, I went there, visited the place, checked it out, whatever, and bought a puppy from them. Since I have adopted another boxer, because both Taylor and Pearl have passed, had adopted another boxer and have adopted another a cat. So adoption's the way to go. I mean, animal shelters and places are full of dogs and cats and all kinds of animals. Really, like, you'd be surprised what you can find in some of these shelters: snakes and rabbits and chickens and geckos and lizards and all kinds of stuff, man, that people get and they decide they don't want, and instead of just just giving them away or you get rid of them, they go to the shelters, which is a good thing. 'Cause then it allows people to adopt them. And some shelters are no-kill shelters and some are not. Um, so yeah, anybody out there looking for a dog or a cat or any type of pet, I encourage you to adopt. Most places that do that also, the animals get microchipped and spay or neutered if they're not. So that's a plus. It stops. There's just way too many animals, so everybody needs a dog. I get it. Some people want specific or they want, purebred dogs or cats, I guess. So they go to breeders and they want something, and that's your prerogative. Like you're allowed to do that, but you'd be surprised at there's plenty of adoption agencies out there that will work with um they have purebred dogs or cats, whatever you look for. They're out there and it's cheaper. Most of them are cheaper than breeders. And I understand. I just think there's way too much breeders overbreeding going on. And so Bob Barker, who hosted The Price is Right, always said at the end of the show, don't forget to spare any animals. And he was spot on, you know, because way too many people get dogs and they breed them. They, have puppies and it's a lot of work, and then they take on too much, and then they gotta try to sell them, and this, that, and the other. So I don't know. I think everybody should adopt. I have bought, so I've been on that side of it too. So, but at a minimum, if you get a pet, and when I bought Pearl from the breeder, you had to sign, like basically I had to sign a thing saying that she would be spayed. She would not be used for breeding purposes because if you want breeding rights, you had to pay for those. and you had to sign an agreement that basically said if she was not spayed within a time frame, that the breeder had the right to take the dog back. So for a breeder, that they were really good, but the prices are, I mean, Pearl would have been 11. So 11 years ago, the prices has increased. Like, I think their cost is like 150% more than what I paid. So it's just too expensive. Like everything else, gas. I don't know where everybody lives. Where I live, gas has come down a little bit. It's like sub 300, sub $3, 300, $300 a gallon. I would not be doing anything. $3. It's like 287 in most places. Some places out in the country, if you go out a little bit, it's like 260s, 270s. So gas has come down, but it's still a little bit higher than what we'd like. We won't see the 90 cent a gallon days like we did when I was 16, 17, that's for sure. But anyway, Halloween's coming up, man. I love Halloween. I love scaring the kids, and I love the last couple of years, my setup at home, outside, people drive by, they'd ask, come take pictures. They do. And that's why I do it. I enjoy it because everybody likes it. And then I like going around, getting in, I get in my car and just drive through the neighborhoods and look at everybody's setups. And some people get really good, man. They have they'll have like their own like little walkthrough, kind of like a mini haunted house or whatever. And I always thought that was kind of neat. I don't have the room for that here. I wish I did. Um, So if I ever get back out of living in town and get back out with some land, I might do that. There was a guy here, he used to be a police officer. He did a haunted woods for free for years. I mean, years he did this haunted woods. And it was cool. And he didn't charge anything. Everybody that worked there did it all. It was all volunteer. But I remember being a kid and the local JC's organization would always do haunted houses if there was some abandoned um, businesses downtown. Or 1 year, um, there was a farm here on the outskirts of town, and the man that owned that farm, him and my dad were friends, and we had a guard. We used to keep a garden at his house on his property. He had racing horses, and he had since passed away, but his granddaughter ran with the rescue squad. So 1 year, because the house was abandoned, they set the house up because the house was abandoned, but it was kind of run down. But they went in and did some work, and they set that up as a haunted house. And then you would go to the rescue squad building and park, and they would take you over to the haunted house in the ambulance, right? So they had this whole like scene going, right? So you get in the ambulance, and they would tell a story like, yeah, this old farmhouse, it has a guy. They say it's haunted, and supposedly there's a serial killer running around in the woods, blah blah blah. They set the whole thing up. But what was spooky to me was that was the house, my dad's friend lived in, and he passed away in, and it was just creepy, right? It's a creepy old house. So that was cool. But anymore, man, like I'm not big on the jump scares and all that stuff. I guess I've just changed as I've gotten older. And so yeah, I'm not really. I can still appreciate like what goes into those things, and I can look at them from afar. But so yeah, one day, man, I'd like to if I ever get out. Now I'm living in town. I get somewhere where I got a little bit more room, a little bit more land. I'd like to have a little walkthrough and set some stuff up and have people come, do the walkthrough and all that. So I think that's pretty cool. So I love Halloween. Um, you gotta be safe. I would never go to basically houses of people I didn't really know. Like when I was a kid and we would go trick or treating, we wouldn't just walk around random neighborhoods. But the town was a lot smaller, population a lot smaller back then. Everybody kind of knew everybody. But my mom would take me to like certain neighborhoods. Like there were certain people we had to go see because they wanted to take pictures and see us in costume. And so that happens now with my nieces and nephews, even though most of my nieces and nephews now are grown, so they're not trick or treating anymore. But it was always cool that they would stop by and you know, they'd come by and see, my setup at the house wherever I was living. And then you got to take pictures and hand out candy and all that. And I found like now the big thing is trunk or treats. So um for those of you who don't know what trunk or treat is, they would set up not like a car show, but it'd be a parking lot with cars set up and they would do a Halloween display or whatever in their trunk, or if you got a pickup truck in the bed of the truck, and they would hand out candy. So instead of going house to house, they would go to these parking lot, these trunk or treat events, and they would go car to car and collect candy. So last few years, me and my family, we've done that, and we've participated in trunk or treat as one that had like a setup and handing out candy, and we've also gone to trunk or treats, and I think those are cool. Um, we'll walk around the neighborhood here, but I mean between that and here, I mean that's a pile of candy, more candy than what we need. So, and usually those start like the weekend before Halloween. It usually depends on like where Halloween. I think Halloween this year falls on a Friday, which is cool. It's always nice when Halloween falls on a weekend. But places will tend to do things the weekend or the week before. And like since Halloween's on a Friday, sometimes they may be stuff the Saturday after Halloween. I'm not big on that. Like once the holiday's done, it's done, right? Like so. But yeah, Halloween's favorite holiday next to Christmas. So looking forward to that. Like I said, I got a few more things to put up here. I still got my strobe lights, my fog machine, all that to put up. But the scarecrow's kind of scary and the spider, but it's really tame compared to those scary, like 8 foot tall clowns I had outside. So, yeah, the kids up the street think some of them think it's scary. Some of them just use it as an excuse to scream at the top of their lungs. They're like 4 year olds, 6 year olds. But, um, can't wait, man. Can't wait to see all the neighborhoods done up. And, it's like every year everything gets bigger, man. It started out with like I said, I had like 8 foot clowns. I had some smaller, like 6 foot tall ones too, but they were like kind of tame. But I remember last year, I think it was Home Depot, somebody was selling these. I have like a 7 foot tall Darth Vader too. That's either used for Christmas or Halloween. You can change the design in his hand, so he's either holding like a pumpkin card that look like the Death Star, or it's a like a ball ornament. Um, but that's indoor only. You can't keep it outside, so it's actually in my garage, and it gets a lot of attention. People drive by and they look in my garage and they're like, "Whoa!" they they're like shocked when they look in there and see Darth Vader. He lights up and he moves around and talks and all that. Man, when I was a kid, my best friend growing up, his dad, he loved Star Wars, and he had made his own like Darth Vader and would set him out on the porch for Halloween. He had all these different like phrases recorded like on a tape recorder and would play it. And I always thought that was cool. I know for years I had a stuff like a werewolf man I'd made, and would put it out there, and I played like the scary sounds, like the wind blowing and the doors creaking and the chains and the ooh, all that moaning and stuff like that. Yeah, scary stuff. Satellite Radio Sirius, they always have a Halloween station that would play that scary sound. One year we did trunk or treat, and I won People's Choice. This was actually a car show, and they did it as a trunk or treat, and I won People's Choice. And I had like zombies in the trunk with like webbing and these LED purple lights, and that car really had like purple crushed like velour interior and stuff. So I kind of went with it. But I had satellite radio playing, so it played like that scary music the whole time. It's a good vibe, good scene. But yeah, man. I'm excited for Halloween. I hope everybody else is as well. But going back to the thing about rushing, like, hey, man, life is short enough. We're just gonna rush through all the holidays and just rush on through. And it's like I felt like July like got here and it just time just went at a standstill. And now here we are, August, September. Here we are at October, so it's kind of flying by. Time's kind of flying right now. So, yeah. Um, I read us. Oh, and you gonna get up? You don't know whether to lay down. What you want to do? Come here. Come here. Come here. Here you go. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. You got something to say? So, yeah. As you can see, what? Yeah. Yeah. You want to talk? Do you want to be on the podcast? What do you want to add? Meow meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow. Her name is Azuki. I play Fortnite, and there's a skin on there of a like a samurai cat, and their name is Azuki. So I named her Azuki. We call her Azuki for short. But yeah, that's my cat. And she's 12 weeks old right now. No, don't chew on that. No, 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 ma'am. No, ma'am. Typical kitten and puppy behavior. Want to chew on everything. Hold on. One's out. But anyway, yeah, everybody rushes through everything, so I don't want to rush through this time of the year, man. It's a favorite time of the year. You got Halloween in October, the weather's changing, fall, you know, have the grass and yeah, football. It's just a good time. Thanksgiving comes, which I'm not huge on Thanksgiving. Like we'll make food and eat and all that, watch football, but I don't know. I got an opinion on Thanksgiving. I'm not gonna share that. And then we got Christmas, and that just brings back memories of as a kid and opening a present underneath the tree, and so I enjoy all that, and hope everybody else does too. And you know, I know it's hard. Everything's kind of expensive. People are struggling, and so uh, as a father, you kind of make, at least for me, I'm more aware of those things, and so it's always sad when like kids go to school and they're like, "Oh, Santa brought me this $300 toy or whatever," and then some kids like, "Well, Santa only got me this $25 toy." So I always had this rule that like any big ticket item, I would say comes from the parent, and you can get something cheaper that comes from Santa because then it makes the kids. And I know most people are probably like, "Well, this ain't my problem. I don't care." But I do care, right? And I want people to feel included and um not slighted. So I would, you know, say, "Hey, Santa got me this $25 toy," and then that way other kids are like, "Why didn't I get the $300 Xbox for Christmas? I was good. I didn't do anything wrong." It's all manipulation anyway. I feel like that is like people use that as a way to get people and their kids to do what they want them to do. Like Santa knows if you've been naughty or nice, Santa knows you're gonna get a bag full of coal. So as you get old and you look at that, especially after you have kids, and it's like, man, it's a bunch of BS. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would want my child to do the right thing because it's the right thing, not because I have to manipulate them and bribe them with if you're not good or if you don't do what daddy says or mommy or whatever, you're not gonna get X, Y, and Z. You're gonna get a box of rocks and some sticks. Like, that's ridiculous. Stop telling the kids that. Stop telling your kids they're bad, right? Like, I'm not big on that either. Kids aren't bad. They're mischievous at times and they don't know, right? Like, kids are learning. They're young. They're little brains or they don't know, they don't understand their emotions and they don't understand those things. So we gotta be we're the ones that's supposed to be able to control emotion and set the example. So let's give the kids a break. Let's not put that on them. You know, that old elf on the shelf, that's the creepiest damn stuff. It's like I'm gonna put some creepy elf in my house. I'm gonna move him around so my child thinks that this thing is real, even though when he sees it's just kind of sitting there like a statue. He's watching. My kid, I would be afraid my child would have nightmares if I did something like that. Like elf on a shelf. Oh, I'm not big on that either. So some people use it, yeah, whatever. That's people's prerogative, you know, whatever they want to use. But I'm not big on the elf on the shelf. Elf on the shelves. Anyway, um, getting my workouts in. I got a leg workout in today. My knees are hating me right now. They're little stiff, a little sore. I didn't wear my knee sleeves, and I didn't squat heavy today, but uh, I was doing some. I don't know if people know what an assault bike is. So an assault bike is it's a bike you get on, you pedal. It's like one of the giant fan bikes, and it's got you can also move the arms back and forth. But those bikes are designed that the faster you go, it increases the resistance, right? So I usually jump on that and warm up before I will do any workout. And then, like today, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a set of squats, and then I'm gonna jump on the assault bike and go hard for a minute. And I did like 4 sets like that. That way you're getting a little bit of you got your weightlifting going on, you got your cardio going on. There's so many ways like you can be so creative with your workouts. Like, and if your goal is just overall, you know, strength and fitness, just to be in some type of shape, just to keep your heart healthy, have a little bit of keep your body fat percentage down, and just stay in overall shape. That's all. You know, there's so many different ways you can get your cardio in with your weightlifting. Like I used to do, you know, I was a personal trainer one time many years ago, and if it would always depend on their person's level, like who you're working with. So, you know, if they never worked out, then you kind of start with the basics. But I was always big on compound movements. So I see it. I see mistakes all the time. I watch trainers when I'm in the gym, and they'll have someone in there that's heavy, right? And they're probably in there to lose some weight, but they got them doing isolation movements, and I never understood why you take a guy that's probably 300 pounds or whatever, right? And you put him on a calf raise machine, and it's like they don't need isolation work on their calves. Right. They need compound where you're using multiple muscles and working more than one thing at a time, and they need to get their heart rate like elevated. And that's how I can always look at a trainer and tell either they're new, right, and they don't know what they're doing, or the gym, because I have had this too for some of the corporate gyms I work for. They basically had a script that you followed, and most of the time there was a newer member or someone who had just signed up for personal training, you'd start them on machines and you would run through the basics and then you put them on a treadmill and let them walk and and they would slowly like let you kind of ramp it up. And I hated that, like, because a gym is a business, right? And they're in the business of making money. Now, some people say, well, if you had clients you were training and they were losing weight or they were getting results, that's going to sell itself, right? but they would only want you to do just enough to, um, kinda keep them coming back. You know what I'm saying? So, it was always, I didn't like it. I didn't agree with that model, and then they wanted you to sell supplements and push all that, and I'm not endorsing something that I don't use, but I'm not big on supplements anyway. I think you can get everything you need through food. Supplement is exactly that. It's supplementation. If I'm on the road, I'm traveling, I grab a protein drink to supplement the fact that I can't eat a meal. And I think people rely too much on supplements to get the protein or the macros to hit their nutrients. And I just, if you can just meal prep, I'm not a fan of. I recommend people to meal prep. I'm not a fan of meal prep myself because I don't like eating leftovers. And if I meal prep, basically what I do is I would just cook a bunch of protein. Like I'll cook like 3 pounds of chicken, season it, throw it in the air fryer, cut it all up, chop it up, put it in a giant freezer bag, be in the fridge. I'll cook up like 2 pounds of beef, cook it up, and then throughout the week, I can mix it with rice. I can make burritos. I can do whatever I want with that protein, but I can everything else I can just kind of go. So meal preps, I mean, but it for some people that don't mind doing a meal prep and they don't mind it, that's the way to go. Um, but yeah, it's just I see a lot in the gym. I observe, I watch a lot that goes on, and it's some trainers, man. I just I I got out of personal training. It was a part-time job. It wasn't a my full-time job anyway. And I considered maybe going back and doing it part-time, but it's one of those things that it's a even if you did it part-time, it takes full-time like responsibility because you're a personal trainer, right? Like so many personal trainers take the personal out of it. So you're like a therapist and you're a little bit of everything, right? Some personal trainers like, I don't want to hear that. I'm here to train you to work out and exercise. I don't want to hear about your problems. I don't want to. But I don't feel like that's fair, right? Because those people are gonna wanna talk to you and tell you about things, and maybe they're having a bad week, right? Maybe they're and you're like, "All right, you having a bad week? Well, let's go in the gym, let's hit this, knock this workout out, and while you're here for that hour or whatever it is, we're not gonna worry about what caused the week to be bad or what's been going on. Let's use the gym as a means to kind of use some therapy and work through that, right?" And I used to tell my clients, like, look, if you're having a bad day or, your workout ain't going anywhere, you can pick up the phone, call me, shoot me a text, whatever. And so I feel like a lot of personal trainers take the personal out of it. I know a lot of people do online coaching. Um, and I don't want to do that. Like, I think I'd be good at it if I did it. I think if I offered that, if I were to offer that, I think I'd do very well at that. I'm a very knowledgeable person. When it comes to powerlifting, bodybuilding, losing weight, gaining weight, whatever you want, right? I have a lot of knowledge. I've studied a lot. I've gone to college. I've taken classes. I've done seminars. I've constantly would read and educate myself because of my own weight loss journey. At one point I was 400 pounds and I got down to like 215. Um, went through the weight loss, went through weight gain, experimented, had injuries, whatever. So I have a ton of knowledge and but I don't have the look, right? But I'm not a bodybuilder. Like so I don't have a need to want to get 5% body fat and have 8 pack at like I'm okay with that, right? Because I like to enjoy pizza and I like to enjoy donut and I like to enjoy those things in moderation and I'm not gonna kill myself when I do want that, and if you're trying to bodybuild, you're doing a show, whatever, and that's what you wanna do and that's what makes you happy, that's completely okay too. But not everybody wants that, and some people just generally wanna have a little bit healthier life, and, they're not worried about stepping on stage and doing all that, and, so I don't know. maybe that's something I can look into. But I definitely got a knowledge. I know how to calculate macros. And there's so many different things out there. Um, so yeah, and I've helped people over the years, and I've had a lot of people tell me that I inspired them. I have been inspired by other people that I've come across in the gym and saw their transformations and things they've done. Um, it's a good community, I think, for the most part. I think social media plays a role in making it look more toxic than it actually is. I think that's social media or that's media in general. We're always going to take the negatives and they're going to outshine the positives. Um, but that's not true anyway. I feel like I'm kind of rambling on. Um, but yeah, anyway, that's what I was doing for my workout. I used to go in there and squat when I played flag football. 'Cause I played competitive flag football for 9 years. I would go in, I would squat my body weight like 20 reps, and then I'd go jump on a treadmill and sprint a quarter mile, and I'd do that like 8 sets of that, and that would be my workout for the day. Because I wanted to keep that. It was like high intensity, short duration, but it's a lot of run. Like flag football was a pile of run, right? We ran a lot. So I just want to kind of stay in shape and be able to run and not basically get winded as easy. I'm telling y'all, man, if y'all like peach tea, you gotta get on that. Um, anyway, so yeah, anybody listens, man, if you want some workout advice, you want change your diet. I don't like calling it diet. You got to make a lifestyle change. Eating healthy is not expensive. That's a myth. What is expensive is going down the aisle and seeing Doritos buy one get one, half off, or buy one get one free, or buy two get one free. Who needs 3 bags of Doritos? I mean, I know we love Doritos, right? But people that do that tend to overeat and you overconsume and you spend more than what you need. And so, yeah, anybody listening, Open Mic Podcast 76 at Outlook.com. Shoot me an email, message me on my social, Instagram, Open Mic Podcast. If you want some diet advice, you want workout advice, whatever, hit me up and I definitely will give you some pointers, give you some help, and get you in the right direction. Don't be afraid to start if you've never started. Um, I mean, Planet Fitness, which gets a bad rep, but they're completely changing their model now. I notice. I mean, you can get a Planet Fitness membership for like $10 a month, and they're starting to add in. Like I see now, like there's one they're opening up close by, and I mean they're starting to add in like half squat racks, so it's not like a squat cage you step in. It's like a half rack, but you can squat on, you can bench on. They're starting to add in those free weights now that they didn't have before, and like turf area where you can, push sleds and do a bunch of different things. And even Planet Fitness is starting to do that. And I know over the years, like Planet Fitness was always kind of like, if you didn't want to go to the big box gyms because you felt like you were being judged because of everybody in there being a meathead or whatever, like those commercials, they always said, this is the no judgment zone. But I felt like they were full of judgment. All the bodybuilding guys, I love protein. I need protein. I pick things up, I put them down. They just made all those people sound like just like Neanderthal, just dumb, dumb dumbs. And so you go Planet Fitness and Judgment Zone, blah, 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 Lunka Lawn and all that crap. But they're kind of, they're broadening. So, hey, man, it's never too late. Um, it's never too late to start. I mean, you can start small. You want to just go for a 20-minute walk every day, 10-minute walk, eat your lunch, go on a 10-minute walk. Do it in the evening, do it before you go to work, walk your dog, walk your kid, whatever. If you have children, make it fun. You can, there's all different kinds of ways, all different types of ways to get exercise in. And things that you wouldn't think are exercise can be made into exercise. So, um, yeah, it's That's, there's all different types of ways to get your exercise in. So, anybody wants some advice? Open Mic Podcast 76 at outlook.com. Hit me up. I will help you. I promise you. Uh, I'll hook you up. I'll take care of you. That's not right. What the hell am I doing? Anyways, some weird news, weird current news. What's up with that? What's up with the weird news? Weird news headlines that make you say, "What's up with that?" Nope, I don't want to buy nothing. Crazy. Hold on. Creme de la dollar weird. Creme de la weird. Dollar weird. Buy your crap. Oh, yeah, yeah. Rose Menacey, 39, appeared in court where she faced charges of illegal possession of human tissue, the BBC reported. She is a cleaner at a hospital maternity ward in South Africa. So I can't pronounce the city. Mpumalanga. Pumalanga. I'm assuming that M is silent. Security officers were tipped off that she was seeking buyers for human body tissues. They arrested her with a plastic bag of human placentas. Police said might face further charges. She's due back in court this month. Yeah, I've read so many crazy stories about placentas, man. Like people have had kids, and they freeze the placenta or they cook the placenta, and they just I if somebody out there knows the benefit of that, please let me know because um if you've had a child, if you have if you're a mother that has birthed a child, or are a father who has watched the birth of your child, I don't know who in the hell is eating the placenta. Anyway, this woman was keeping placentas and selling them, and I have no idea what the hell those people were doing with them. But what's up with that? What's up with the placenta? I don't know. Um, the BB convenience store in Macon, Missouri had slot machines, which made it really handy for Amber Dawn Butler, 34, to satisfy her gambling addiction while she was at work. One little hiccup in her on-the-job wagering was that she was allegedly taking money from the store's cash register and safe to feed into the machines. Butler also confessed to scratching lottery tickets she hadn't bought and stealing cigarettes and bottled water from the store. Confusingly, she pled not guilty and is being held in Macon County Jail. Man, what's up with that? So you're at work, and they slot machines, like a lot of these gas station stuff. I see it here. Um, but Virginia passed a law that made it illegal, so they call them now skill-based machines. It's kind of a workaround. But what's up with that, man? This person needs some help. If you're planning to do a little carousing this homecoming season in Jessup, Iowa, think again. Jessup Police Department has issued a warning that TPing is banned, and anyone doing it will face legal charges. KCRG TV reported on September 17th the police have labeled the prank harassment and have identified multiple people whom they are investigating for trespassing, criminal mischief, illegal dumping, and disorderly conduct. So if you think you're going to take a roll of toilet paper, for those who don't know what TPing is, take toilet paper, throw that stuff up in the trees, and it hangs up and all that. If you do this in Jessup, Iowa, just know that you're going to be facing legal ramifications for that, man. What's up with that? People can't just have fun as toilet paper. It'll rain and wash away, and it's no big deal. People did that all the time, man, when I was younger. They used to egg cars too, which that's not cool, but yeah, no TPing. TP from my bunghole. TP from my bunghole. I am cornholio. I am cornholio. I need TP from my bunghole. Let's see. Okay. What's up with that, man? It's good to have a hobby. In Conway, South Carolina, TikTok users and others are following the escapades of the CCU pisser, a person who relieves himself at different points around the coastal Carolina University campus. The Sun News reported that videos started appearing on September 1st, and each one featured a different iconic target, a CCU logo embedded in a sidewalk, for example, and the school's football field. CCU wouldn't comment on the shenanigans, but detectives, apparently unaffiliated with the school, is also a hit on TikTok, warning the pisser that I know your name, I know where you'll be next. We'd love to hear both posters' GPAs. What's up with that, man? Running around pissing on things? Gee, Louise, where's the world come to? Uh, what's up with that, man? How old are we again? Let's do one more. Animal antics. Joan Hevlick of San Rafael, California, was enjoying a walk in her neighborhood when a squirrel came out of nowhere to claw and bite her, KGO TV reported on September 22nd. Her injury sent her to the emergency room. Hevlick isn't the only victim of an attack squirrel in the area, but 5 people have been attacked, and they should have been alerted. Attack and flyers have been posted on multiple utility poles warning residents of the very mean squirrel. Lisa Block, a Marine of Marin Humane, said such attacks are likely the result of someone feeding it. Yeah. When wildlife is fed by humans, they can close their natural fear and act more emboldened. The LA County Department of Public Health assures locals that squirrels do not spread rabies. Stop feeding the squirrels because you feed them and then you walk by and you ain't got no food and they're like, oh, yeah, you gonna snub me? I'm gonna show you. The next thing there, you got flying monkey squirrel come out of the tree hitting you with a damn DDT. Ayakabamba. Let's do one more, man. What's up with that? Squirrels. Mean squirrels. People putting up flyers. Your life. Like, find something to do. Stop feeding the damn thing. Man, the squirrels around here look like small children. I ain't gonna lie. Man, there's a neighbor like 3 houses up. Everybody says he feeds all of them. That's why they're so damn big. I mean, the squirrels around here are crazy. I mean, they're big. I'm talking about, I mean, they're like the size of a small dog. I mean, they're big squirrels. And they're terrible, man. I had pumpkins growing. They got into my damn pumpkin. So I finally took one off the branch and put it out front. Damn thing, chewing it out, man. They're all over the place, man. I got a cat. He used to chase him and kind of catch him. I'd get on him. Now he just kind of watches them like he'll stalk him, but he don't do nothing. We need to start doing a job again and get rid of squirrels. Sorry, I know that sounds cruel, but whatever. Let's do one more. New World Order. Oh, here we go. The Tech Revolution. Here we go. Last one. Lisa Catalano, 41 of San Mateo, California, is ready to settle down. KRON TV reported she's set her sights high. Catalano is using digital billboards along Highway 101 to seek out potential mates, directing suitors to her website to get more information and apply. I just want to meet somebody, she said. And I was not having any luck any other way. Catalano was previously engaged, but her fiance passed away in 2023 from illness. Damn, that's terrible. As she looks for the ideal applicant, she said, I hope that this is a great story that we can tell our future children. And folks say if you're having trouble dating, can't meet the right person, get your billboard, buy some billboard space, and just put it right on out there. And that's all for this week's episode. What's up with that? I read something the other day that said, I was looking for the article. it was talking about how much media we consume, and it was something like the average person consumes like 5 to 7 hours of media a day, and it's not like we're not talking about like the news or like actual like weather or me. It's basically like mundane, just empty media, right? Just crap that really not necessary. 5 to 7 hours a day, not a week, a day. And that's crazy, man. Like I really feel like social media should shut down for about a year and let things get back to I don't know. I know it's the age and everybody's it's just crazy to me that like I don't know. That's a lot, man. That's a lot of time. And I try to put my phone down as much as possible anymore because it's just you get in the habit. It's like the first thing you look at when you wake up. It's the last thing you look at when you go to sleep. You can't sleep. You grab your phone. You sit, and it's terrible. It's terrible for you. It's not good for your eyes. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for helping you sleep. You're supposed to have like quiet time and limit your like screen time before you go to sleep because it'll keep you awake. And I feel like especially for the younger generations, man, that's like I see these videos. I'm sure people have seen these videos. These videos of like these kids in high school getting like a fist fight or whatever, and people first thing they do is grab their phone, right? And people are just sitting there watching it. And I'm sitting there thinking they look like they're so like you look in their eyes and it's like nothing there, right? And I feel like the younger generations are becoming so desensitized to this type of behavior. Like if I see somebody getting a fight, like that type of violence, like it's not normal, right? And I don't think it's not normal to want to film someone getting in a fist fight and like watching somebody get like just beat. And um I don't know, man. I see these videos and a friend of mine brought it to my attention. It's like, man, just look at those kids' eyes that are filming. And it's like they're just like this empty, like it's nothing there. And I think social media has its good point. It has good things and it's bad. And I think it limits communication. Like people don't know how to face talk anymore. They don't know how to pick up a phone. Everything's through text. Everything's through email. Like you lose like if you're talking to someone, you can't see facial expressions. You can't see body language. Like somebody might sound like they're being, a smart ass or condescending or sarcastic, but you can't pick like you think that, right, by what they say, but then if you were to see them face to face, you'd understand. So I feel like it's something it's an not an art, but it's a form of communication that's being lost is how to communicate face to face. And it works, right? Like I'm sure they're thinking, man, once all y'all old boomers are gone or whatever they call old people, they call all old people boomers, whatnot. Yeah, once they're done gone, we don't have to worry about it. We can communicate the way our generation has communicated. But I feel like everything comes back full circle, right? So, hopefully I feel like that's a trend that needs to go in the other direction. And I seriously mean, like, I think social media should shut down for a year. Like, no social media. We'll go back to getting our news old fashioned way. We'll either Google it or we'll read a newspaper. And if you don't, then or you watch news on TV. But even that's all bad news. And it's bad enough as it is. They don't tell you the good story. They tell you all the bad stuff. But that's what everybody wants to hear. So, um, but yeah, that's a lot of media. That's a lot of consuming of just nothing, right? It's just mush. You're just consuming a bunch of mush. And it's okay to get on there and look at some funny videos and stuff. Yeah, we send videos to our friends, and my friends send it to me or whatever. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. But anyway, still can't get my guy on for the NFL picks. My picks have been crap. I feel like the whole like first month of the season is just hard, right? And I still feel like we're coming up on week 5, first week in October, and I still feel like you don't really know much about any of these teams. Even the ones that are undefeated, like the Eagles, like if you look at the stats, like they've been probably compared to last year, the numbers are way down, but they're still been pretty consistent. So it's just hard, man, and really, like my team, the Commanders, Jay Daniels got hurt, but in the 2 games he was out, they split. So to be 2-2, and they got a lot of injuries that's starting to pile up. Um, I don't know. It's a long year. My picks have sucked. And speaking of football, I want to touch on this real quick. Those who know who Bad Bunny is, Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican reggaeton singer. Um, he normally does not perform in the United States. He has his reasons. Some say it's because he doesn't like Donald Trump. Some people say it's because he doesn't want ICE raiding his concerts. I do not know the man. I've never interviewed him, so I don't know really the specific reason. But the NFL has chose him to perform at the Super Bowl. None of his songs are in English; they're all in Spanish. And a lot of people have the same ones that were upset over. It's always something, right? But people are upset. I'm not gonna watch football. These are probably the same people that said the same thing when Kaepernick was kneeling for the national anthem or whatever. And so a lot of people are like, well, Bad Bunny's performing. I'm not watching that. And that's fine. You're entitled to that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how you feel. That's how I tell people. If you don't like a business, you don't like something they support or something they do, then don't support and don't patronize. Don't give them the money. And that's exactly what this does. And that's fine. That's how things should be. But just, making a big deal, make a big deal about it, and it's crazy. Um, the NFL is a business. They're in the business of making money. And anybody that watches the NFL knows they are basically trying to become more global. There's more international games every year. And so I feel like, in 2025, I think Bad Bunny was like one of the top performers, you know, um, performers worldwide. So yeah, of course it's a good business decision. Now a lot of people's like, well, I've seen him dressed in dresses, and I've seen him kind of cross dress and dressed like women. And is he trans? Is he? I don't think he is. Why he does? I don't know. I really don't know that much about Bad Bunny. But if you don't like it, then don't watch it. I don't watch any of the halftime shows. Honestly, I don't care who's singing. It's just I tune in to watch football. I don't tune in for the acts. And even the commercials for the Super Bowl have not been great. I don't feel last couple of years. But anyway. I want to touch on that real quick. I don't know what everybody's thoughts is. Open my podcast 76 at outlook.com. Email me if you have a thought on it. Let's share it. Let's read it on the show. If you do not want your emails read on the show, please let me know when you email and I'll keep it private. Or I can keep your name. Yeah, I don't have to put that out there, but most people email show do not use real names anyway. But anyway, week 5 of the NFL season. Let's see. Let's take a look at the games on schedule this week. None of these are. That's not true. All right. I'm going. Why is it so hard to look up? Can't pick the Thursday night game because that's already gone. Um, I probably would have went with the Rams. I'm just kind of surprised, man. Mac Jones is playing well. Brock Purdy's been hurt for the Niners, and that was a good game. Went to overtime. That was a crazy game. Um, but yeah, let's get some picks. We'll make it quick. So let's see what we got. The early game. I think that's a London. Is that a game in London? The Vikings and the Browns. I'd like to pick the Vikings, man. The Browns are just trash. I'm going the Vikings on that one. Raiders and the Colts. I got the Colts. Texans and the Ravens. Man, the Ravens are struggling. I think Lamar is out. I don't think Lamar is playing. Uh, Even then, I'd still probably go Baltimore. Texans are struggling right now. Broncos and Eagles. That's gonna be a tough. That's gonna be a tough matchup. Um, I can't stand Philly. I'm going Broncos. Cowboys or the Jets. Cowboys have actually been playing well. The defense has not, but Dak is playing pretty good. Like the offense is not why they're not winning games. Um, but I could see this being a letdown game. I don't know. I just feel that way. They go to New York and lose. I'm gonna pick the Jets. Dolphins at the Panthers. I'm gonna go with. Hmm. I'm gonna go to Panthers on that one. Titans at the Cardinals. Going with the Cards. Titans are terrible. Giants at the Saints. I'm going with the Giants on that one, man. They started Jackson Dart last week and they beat the Chargers, but it's not because of Jackson Dart. It's not because of Scatterbo. Like I'm so sick of everybody telling me how great this guy is at running back. Look at his stats are nothing. I don't know how he's not called for leading with the crown of his helmet all the time. Like in Jackson Dart, he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hurt. It's only a matter of time. These guys would be yeah, that Scatterbo kid. Like I love that kid. Like there's nothing wrong with hard nosed football. I'm just saying he leads with the crown of his helmet all the time when he runs and when he blocks. It's only a matter of time before he's and those guys will have CTE before they're 30. But I'm going with the Giants over there. Saints are trash. Lions at the Bengals. I got the Lions on that one. Buccaneers, the Seahawks. This is another one, man, because the Seahawks are pretty good. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And this is on the road, man. I'm gonna go Seattle on that one. Patriots and the Bills. That's a Sunday night game. I'm gonna go with the Bills, and then Commanders and the Chargers. Man, I'm always gonna go with my heart, and that's Washington. But this is gonna be a tough game. They got a lot of injuries piling up. But you know, the offensive line for the Chargers is banged up. So maybe Washington's defensive line take advantage of that. And then the Monday night game is Chiefs at Jags. Man, I'm gonna go with the Jags on this, man. I just think Kansas City looks old. I know Mahomes is not old. They just I don't know. They've been missing a lot of guys. I think they got some guys coming back, but I'm gonna go with the Jags on that one. So I'm gonna recap these picks again. I'm going with the Vikings. I'm going with the Colts. I'm going with the Ravens. I'm going with the Broncos. I'm going with the Panthers. I'm going with the Jets. I'm going with the Giants. I'm going with the Cardinals. Seahawks, Lions, Bills, Commanders, Jags. And those are my picks for week 5 of the NFL season. First week October. By the end of this month, we'll probably know who we got, who's what, and then in November you start to kind of pull away in December. So um, those are my picks. And we got one more segment, and that is open mic mailbag and everybody's favorite segment. My favorite segment. I know you guys love the emails. Um, I love the emails. You guys keep the emails coming. That's my favorite part of the show. I enjoy reading the mail. What is my computer doing here? Not doing what it's supposed to be doing, unfortunately. There we go. Open mic mailbag. Let's go. You got mail. Yay. Subject 90s kids had the best comedy training. I would, we just talked about this the other day. Hey, Mike, we grew up on slapstick, Looney Tunes, Home Alone, and Nickelodeon slime. No wonder we developed sarcastic humor. You think Gen Z could handle a Legends of the Hidden Temple reboot without crying over the temple guards? Let me know your thoughts, Nate. Nate, I appreciate the email. Appreciate you listening to the show. Yeah, man, I was just watching some segments the other day. Um, yeah, Looney Tunes, Wile E. Coyote, Chasing Roadrunner, always blowing something up, blowing himself up, dropping something on. It's just crazy the violence that was in that cartoon, but there was no blood, no none of that. Um, I was watching some old In Living Color episodes with Handyman and just thinking about the political correctness today and how that show would not fly. If any of you have never watched In Living Color from back in the 90s, go on YouTube and look up Handyman, and you won't need to watch it anymore. That show was hilarious. I'm sorry, and I don't know. It's a fine line, man. When we start talking about I don't know. You start talking about political correctness and all that, and we can't make fun of this, can't make fun of that. Like everybody gets so offended by everything. And it's just comedy, right? Like there's a line. If somebody's genuinely being just, an asshole to somebody, making fun of somebody who's slight or whatever, yeah, then that's not okay. But if it's comedy, I don't know. I guess I'm a product of the generation I grew up in. It's kind of like people say, well, people use a lot of derogatory words, and used to make, blacks had to drink from a different water fountain than the whites, and that wasn't okay, but it was a product of their generation, and so I get it. I get it. Um, but Nate, I appreciate your email. Appreciate you listening to the show. Uh, let's go. Let's some more. Got some retro emails this week. Um, Be kind, rewind is the subject. Mike, do you remember the panic when you realized you forgot to rewind a VHS? Yes, I do. My dad acted like I committed a federal offense. You should totally do a Be Kind Rewind nostalgia segment, Crystal. Crystal, appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. Yeah, man. If you didn't rewind, so back in the day, we used to rent videos, VHS. I remember 7-Eleven was the first place that I saw rent videos. And then you had like Errol's, and there was a couple local places here. You used to rent video games. Like the library rents movies and video games, which is, I did not know that, but small selection, but still. Yeah, if you didn't rewind that VHS, man, they'd tag your account and you'd be, you'd have to pay like a fee, like $1, $2 fee or something like that. Next time you went back to rent a movie. Uh, and yeah, you'd be like, you take it out, you'd be like, man, it's due back today by like noon or whatever. You take the VHS tape, you put in the thing, you'd be headed to the store and you'd be like, damn it, I forgot to rewind it. So yeah, Crystal, I'm sure your dad did pay. My dad didn't. He didn't really rent movies. Usually me or mom. So, um, yeah, man, we got a lot of like retro. Uh, here's another subject. The Goonies taught us everything. Yeah, the Goonies, great 80s. I think everybody should go back and watch a lot of 80s pop culture movies. Hey, man, just rewatched the Goonies with my kids. They actually liked it. No CGI, no superheroes, just bikes, booby traps, and friendship. You think movies today lost that real kid energy the 80s had? Lenny, appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. I absolutely feel like because those kids are riding around town, riding on their bikes, going on a treasure hunt, trying to find. If y'all have never seen the Goonies, it's a great movie. Every time they bring it back to the movie theater, I go see it. Um, Great movie. One of my top 5 movies of all time. Uh, yeah, you don't. We used to ride through neighborhoods and see bikes sitting in everybody's yards and all. You don't see any of that no more. Like kids ain't riding bikes no more. Um, or they're just not venturing out. They just ride them up and down the street. Uh, yeah, Goonies, man, great movie. And yeah, I think there's I don't know if they lost the real kid energy the '80s had. Like the energy we had in the '80s and '90s is not the same now. So I don't feel like kids get the chance to be a kid. I've talked about that before, man. Let kids be kids. Um, let kids be kids, man. Here we go. Subject: Sega or Sony? The eternal question. Hey, Mike, you talk NFL picks, but here's a harder one. Sega Genesis PlayStation versus PlayStation 1. My cousin and I still argue over who had the better sound effects. Let's settle this on air once for all. I don't know about the sound effects, Eric. Eric, appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. I don't know about sound effects. PlayStation 1 definitely, from a graphics perspective, was better than Genesis. But Genesis, to me, and this is probably going to be a bad take. Not a bad take, it's my take, but I don't think a lot of people going to agree. Sega Genesis is my favorite console of all time. To me, it trumped all the Nintendo consoles, even though I love the original NES. For me, it was Sega Genesis. I like Sega games better, and that was just my opinion. I do like PlayStation. Sega Genesis to me is the best console of all time, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Um, but yeah, uh, Eric, I appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. Um, let's see. Cooking during game day is a full contact sport. Hey, Mike, just wanted to say my kitchen looks like a training camp every Sunday. I'm trying to flip wings, keep my fancy lineup straight, and stop my toddler from tackling the dog. You should do a game day cooking with Mike segment, just 5 minutes of chaos and comedy. Take care of Shelby. Shelby, appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. Uh, yeah, game day cooking. I mean, I've talked about some snacks I like on game day. But it can be, if you're a single parent, you got your toddler, you got your animal, you're trying to cook wings and do all that. Yeah, that can be a nightmare. It might be easier to just go to B-Dubs or Wingstop and just order and just be done with it. Chaos and comedy, game day cooking with Mike. I don't do a lot of because it's usually just me watching the games by myself most of the time. Like I got a couple friends that might come over, or I might go over there, but most times it's just me. So and generally we'll watch games after we hit the gym on Sunday morning. So not a whole lot of cooking. Um, but anyway, appreciate you listening to the show. Let's see. Subject: This country feels wild lately. Yes, it does. Hey, Mike, just listened to your episode about the division in the country. Thank you for saying what needed to be said. Between social media and the 24/7 news cycle, it feels like we're all just yelling past each other. How do you personally stay informed without losing your mind? I'm trying to find that line between aware and burned out. Appreciate the honesty, Alex. Alex, appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. I don't like big box media, Fox, CNN, all that. I don't watch any of that. Honestly, I get a lot of news from other people, from social media. I do, of course. But I take a lot of things with a grain of salt, and um, if I felt like media was burning me out, I would take a step back away from the media and just kind of social media in general. Um, but I stay informed because I listen and read specific people that are in the media or that are in politics or in whatever I'm looking at or looking up. And so you just kind of got to know who to trust, really. But that I feel like most media sources, there's always an agenda. So they want to kind of want you to pick one side or the other and this that. And I hate that. I hate the fact that I have to be blue or red or left or right, or I don't have to, and you don't either. Nobody has to be that way. Um, Nobody has to be that way. So, um, but I appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. Let's do one more. Single parent and finding time subject. Parenting and the halftime hustle. Yo, Mike, I've been meaning to ask, how do you find time to record, watch games, and still parent? I swear my kid wants to play tag right when the fourth quarter starts. Maybe you can do an episode about parenting balance, how to raise good kids and not miss a 2-minute drill. Well, in this situation, um, respect Cord, appreciate you listening to the show, appreciate the email. In this situation, man, you got to kind of prioritize. Like, your kid comes before sports, right? Like, that's just your kid's needs come before anything else. And most games now you can kind of record, um, and then go back and watch them. And I know that sucks, right? But if you can get your kid kind of into sports, if they kind of take a liking to something that you like, maybe that's one way you can work it in. Um, if you have another parent that could watch the child, there's ways to do it, right? And it's hard to balance things as a parent, but you got to go with your priorities first. First and foremost, priorities and the safety and your kid always wants your attention. They don't want you, watching football and you can't tell them, well, I'm watching football right now. Just leave me alone. Like you can't do that. So, um, I record a lot of my podcasts ahead of time and then I set them to be, um, you know, released on certain dates and times. So that's how I work around it. And I have a schedule that's a little odd than most people have. So I'm able to kind of record and do some things. But when it's family time, and that trumps everything. So, but we do sporting events and we do things together. So, um, we make it work. But it's being a parent is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. So, I appreciate you listening to the show, Corey. I appreciate the email. Let's do one more, man. One more. Um, Here we go. How's that pick record looking, Mike? Not good. Hey, Mike. All right, man. Level with us. How this pick's holding up this season? I've been following along since week one. I swear you've hit more underdogs than one. No, that's not true. I've not. Um, Kind of went away from picking points and just picking straight up winners and losers. Um, can we talk about the refs lately? I convinced they had fantasy money on the game. Yeah, keep it up, Derek. Appreciate it. Appreciate the words of encouragement, Derek. Appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. Um, Kick's not holding up good. And yeah, refs are human, man. And most refs are older. The game moves so fast, which is why they have instant replay to kind of go back and catch things because the game, it's easier for us to analyze a call when we can slow it down, like say, a crawl to see a holding call, whatever. Referees don't, and even on replay, they don't have that. They don't have that ability because it's just not. So, um, yeah, cut the refs a break. Sometimes they make some bad calls that are egregious, and it's bad. But um, yeah, man, go take up some refereeing class, and maybe you can be a referee. I always thought about doing that, and I never did. Never did become a ref, but um. Let's do one more, man. One more. This is about fantasy. I used to play fantasy. I was trying to get people together to play fantasy. Didn't get enough interest, but my fantasy team is a disaster. Mike, please tell me your fantasy team's doing better than mine. I drafted 3 players who are now injured and one who apparently retired. If you ever do a fantasy support group episode, I'm in. Tasha. Tasha, I appreciate you listening to the show. Appreciate the email. I play FanDuel, so I don't do um the fantasy like most people would have a draft and that's like your team through the season. I'll play FanDuel, which is gambling. We're talking about like quarter or 50-cent games, maybe $1, but and it's not much. It's just to keep me interested in other games, basically. But with that, you pick a different team every week, before each game, so before all the games start for the day. But with that fantasy draft, that it's hard because if you do get players that your starters that are hurt, now you got to go on a waiver wire try to find somebody. Usually, guys will step up throughout the couple weeks. Somebody didn't get drafted or somebody they didn't expect, and then you kind of pick somebody up there. Um, but yeah, injuries you can't predict. There's nothing you can do about that. Those are going to happen. Hopefully, those players are not on IR for the rest of the year because it can cook you. I know um, like I said, man, the first month is hard. You don't know what you got. Nobody knows what. So, uh, but that's it for open mic mailbag. I appreciate everybody listening to the show. I appreciate everybody's emailing in. Like I said, if you ever want to email and have your email read on the show, open mic podcast 76 at outlook.com. Shoot me an email and yeah, I might read your email on the show. Might read your email on the show. Uh, let's see. I like doing these little outro songs. I don't know how everybody else feels about it. Don't know what's going on in my throat. I hope I'm not getting sick because not ready for that. It feels a little dry though. But anyway, little outro song. Thanks for tuning in. We had our say. Laughs and stories, thoughts on display. Keep it open, keep it true. The mic's always on for you. Catch you next time. Don't be late. Open mic podcast. You know it's great. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. Everybody out there, keep your head up, man. I appreciate all the love. Appreciate all the support. Um, Thanks for all the shares, all the emails, all the feedback, criticisms, positive, negative, whatever. I appreciate everybody that takes time to listen to me for an hour, roughly. Let me be a part of your life. And you are a huge part of mine.